It's NFL Draft Bible's All Access Show, developing story. Mike and Rick, Mike Gill, Rick Saratella. We got some breaking news coming across. We just were on the live All Access Show. We can catch Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but we got a little breaking news that we want to get into. We touched on Jalen Carter and his involvement in a fatal crash on January 15th. Well, as soon as the show ended, Rick, we have now found that police in Georgia have secured arrest warrants for Jalen Carter stemming from his alleged involvement in a fatal crash involving teammates and staffers on January 15th. He's expected to be arrested for reckless driving and racing. This is a developing story and has a huge impact on the combine and the draft. He was supposed to speak today, Wednesday at 10:30. No sign of him.
Unbelievable, Mike. I mean, you cannot create a bigger, more dramatic storyline than what's unfolding right here in front of our very eyes. I mean, this is a breaking story. It's a developing story, and it matters because Jalen Carter is our number one player on the NFL Draft Bible bid board. He is in contention to be that number one overall selection should the Chicago Bears stand pat there. Now, with the recent Henry Ruggs situation, you've got to wonder how much does this give NFL teams something to think about, right? And there's not good details emerging from this story. There's alcohol impairment. The guy who died was 0.197 alcohol content. Cars going 104 miles per hour. Witnesses, bystanders saying that cars were switching lanes, crossing the middle line, and racing was transpiring here with Jalen Carter. So this is a big deal.
Yeah, big deal is also, keep in mind, Carter had also got a ticket back in September going 89 in a 45. So there is some precedent here. And Rick, the other part of this that's precedent that's not good for Carter, the story seemed to change not once, not twice, but three times. Hey, I was a mile away. Hey, I was tailing them. Well, maybe I was driving next to them. This is a story that does not look good for Carter. You have this whole process coming up, and now all this is coming out, and he's not there to answer the questions. Hey, we could be looking at an epic faller all of a sudden, and we wonder what this does for him on draft day. Can they do something between now and April to clear this up?
Yeah, unlike the Laramie Tunsil situation, which literally unfolded minutes before the draft, this is still 2 months before the draft. So we're going to see how this unfolds, what the details are. There's been an arrest warrant. Will he be charged? Will he be arrested? Will he be put in jail? All this remains to be seen, but that can essentially dictate where he falls or slides in the NFL draft.
Yes, there was an investigation that found that Stafford Chandler LaCroix, the driver of the expedition, and Jalen Carter, driver of a 2021 Jeep Trackhawk, were operating their vehicles in a manner consistent with racing after leaving the downtown Athens area at about 2:30 in the morning. The evidence demonstrated that both vehicles switched between lanes, drove in the center turn lane, drove in opposite lanes of travel, overtook other motorists, drove at high rates of speed in an apparent attempt to outdistance each other. Evidence indicated that shortly before the crash, the expedition was traveling 104 miles an hour. The toxicology report indicated LaCroix's blood alcohol, as Rick mentioned, 0.197. Investigators are determining that alcohol impairment, racing, reckless driving, and speed were significant contributor factors in this crash. That is from the Atlanta, the fatal crash report that came out. He had been scheduled to speak with reporters in Indianapolis to do his physical. He has not been spotted with the group this morning. He met with teams already previous to the news. So, Rick, he did get a chance to meet with teams, but this is now all out, and he didn't have to answer those questions.
Well, the week is young, so there might still be some interview requests, and I got to look and see who Jalen Carter's agent is, but this is a PR nightmare for the agency, and no surprise that Jalen Carter did not show up for his podium interview just minutes ago. The news breaking right before, ironically, he was set to meet with the assembled media. So you wonder how much canceled meetings will continue to transpire with NFL teams as we go out throughout the week here in Indy.
Yep, crowd waiting on Jalen Carter about 10 minutes ago to speak. at the combine. The arrest warrant out. He is not appearing at his time. He was scheduled to speak at 10:30 on this Wednesday, and there we go. So big news, breaking news, and the NFL Draft Bible All Access Pass show has it for you here. We'll be back on Twitter Spaces at 8 o'clock tonight and back on Friday at 10 a.m. right here on the BFA Sports channel. For more, check that out on Spaces tonight as we get information. It's the NFL Draft Bible All Access Pass show here on BFA Sports. For Rick, I'm Mike. We'll talk to you tonight on Spaces at 8.